So have you ever felt that pull towards something just out of reach? That's the intriguing territory we're exploring today, this idea of the tree of desire. And knowing you're keen on grasping complex ideas like efficiently, I think you'll find this really revealing.
Oh, absolutely. And, it's more than just like yearning for something. It's actually a really powerful engine. It drives our markets, shapes the opportunities we see. We'll be drawing quite a bit on Dr. Pooyan Ghamari's insights here, trying to understand how this desire for what we can't easily get, well, how it defines value.
Exactly. It makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, Camus said, man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is. And then you have Roosevelt saying, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Both kind of touch on that human drive, right? To strive for something more, something maybe just beyond reach.
Yeah. Which, yeah, has huge implications for how our economies actually work. So today, we'll really unpack the psychology behind it. Why are scarcity and exclusivity just so attractive to us? We'll look at real-world examples, and importantly, offer some strategic ways to think about and maybe navigate this powerful force.
Okay. And keeping in mind you like things clear, straight to the point, our aim is definitely to give you valuable insights, surprising connections, hopefully without getting lost in the weeds. So this tree of desire, where does this fascination actually come from?
Well, it starts with understanding that desire isn't just, an emotion. It's a fundamental driver of how we value things. Think about that basic economic idea, scarcity. Generally, the harder something is to get, the more we value it. But the really interesting part is why. Why is that attraction so strong? And that's deep in our psychology.
So it's not just trying to keep up with the neighbors then?
Well, not entirely, no. Evolutionary psychology suggests that way back, scarce resources literally meant survival. So that might have hardwired us, to value things that aren't easy to find. Then you layer on social psychology, having rare things, exclusive things, that signal status. It creates a sense of belonging to, well, a special group.
That makes sense. A blend of old survival instincts and our social needs.
Exactly. It lights the fire, so to speak.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Ghamari talks about the three forces of desire.
Okay, the three forces, what are they?
Right, so these are the core things that really amplify that allure. Scarcity, exclusivity, and mystery.
Okay, let's take scarcity first. We touched on it, but how does it work in practice?
Scarcity here isn't just like low numbers. It's how that limitation creates urgency, drives up the perceived value. The fewer there are, the more intense the desire often becomes. Think about those super luxury penthouses in Dubai. There's only one at the very top, right? Or those very selective Swiss residency programs. They have strict limits each year. Even digital collectibles. The limited editions thrive on this. And what's really interesting is how the feeling of scarcity, the perception, can sometimes be stronger than the actual limitation. Marketers are, well, experts at using this.
Right. That's the FOMO thing kicking in, isn't it? Fear of missing out. When something's limited time or limited supply, you feel that pressure to get it.
Precisely. And concrete examples really help. Hermes Birkin bags, famously hard to get, long waiting lists. That difficulty directly fuels the desire, the crazy resale prices. Or think about certain vintage wines. From amazing years, naturally limited production, highly sought after.
Okay, scarcity, got it. What about the second force? Exclusivity.
Right, exclusivity. Now this one builds on scarcity, you see. It's not just that something's rare, it's that access is restricted. To a select group. This caps right into our need for social status, for recognition. Owning something exclusive or having access signals you're part of a certain circle. It's about social signaling.
Ah, okay. Like private jets, maybe? Or those members-only clubs you hear about?
Exactly that. Or invitations to really high-profile events. It's that velvet rope effect. Just knowing it's restricted makes it instantly more desirable. It's about feeling chosen.
I can definitely see how that ramps things up. And the third one, mystery. That sounds intriguing.
Mystery is powerful. It's the allure of the unknown, isn't it? The hint of secrets, of privileged knowledge. Think secret societies or private clubs where the benefits are kept deliberately vague. Or even those hidden investment opportunities that promise some kind of unique edge. Mystery doesn't just make you curious. It lets you project your own hopes onto it, often inflating the value in your mind.
So the idea that there's something really special, really valuable, but only a few people are in on it.
Precisely. You see this used skillfully in the art market sometimes. The provenance of a piece, its history, that's key. But even the unknown parts of its past can add to the allure, the perceived worth. The unknown is captivating.
Wow. Okay, so scarcity, exclusivity, mystery, they sound incredibly potent together, but can this go wrong? Dr. Ghamari mentions the forbidden fruit effect, speculative bubbles.
Yeah, that's a really critical point. When that desire for the unattainable just takes over, it can lead to speculative bubbles.
Absolutely.
The intense attraction fueled by these forces can make people completely ignore fundamental value. We saw it pretty dramatically with the rise and fall of some cryptocurrencies, didn't we? And that frenzy around NFT art for a while. Even in, say, overheated luxury property markets, you can see elements of this.
So that fear of missing out, FOMO, it can actually cloud your judgment, lead to irrational choices.
Oh, definitely. People get fixated on the prestige, the potential quick profit. They overlook whether the asset itself has real lasting value. And when the hype dies down, those bubbles can burst, big losses. So the key thing here is, yes, these forces create value, but you have to stay alert to how they can fuel irrationality.
That's a really important caution. Okay, so beyond the bubble risk, how are these principles actually used, like, strategically in the real world?
Well, the deliberate use of these is honestly everywhere, across different sectors. Let's start with exclusive real estate. That scarcity premium is like fundamental to its value.
Right, at the very top end, it's not just about square meters or the postcode, is it?
Not at all. Luxury property often defines its value by carefully managing exclusivity. Think about private islands, Maldives, Caribbean. There's a finite number naturally. Strict development limits. That creates the ultimate scarcity, appealing to those who want total privacy, total control. There just aren't that many globally.
Great example. It's unique, limited supply worldwide.
Exactly. Or think about those sky-high penthouses. New York, Dubai, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
They're not just flats with nice views. They give that feeling of being above it all, literally and, well, figuratively. The scarcity, just one top floor plus the massive wealth needed, turns them into trophy assets. Often unique architecture, too.
And even something like a gated community uses these ideas, right? It's not only about the dates.
Precisely. Gated communities offer security, sure, and privilege, but they also create a specific social bubble. The restricted access, the community of similar, usually wealthy people, that adds to the premium price. It's access to a lifestyle.
Okay, moving from property, Dr. Ghamari also talks about exclusive citizenship programs. How do they fit into this tree of desire?
Yeah, for the super wealthy, getting citizenship somewhere specific isn't just about a passport. It's about mobility, security, sometimes better tax situations. The most desirable programs mix scarcity with, well, a lot of privilege.
Can you give an example or two?
Sure. Look at Portugal's Golden Visa. It offered EU residency via real estate. But now, with more restrictions, potential changes, that's actually increased its desirability for some. The uncertainty creates urgency, a sense of limited time. Then there's Switzerland. Residency for wealth. Needs huge assets. Offers global mobility, security, tax perks, plus Switzerland's reputation for stability, discretion. The high bar naturally creates exclusivity, attracts those prioritizing long-term security.
And the UAE's investor residency is getting a lot of buzz, too.
Indeed. It offers a safe, tax-free life in a booming global hub, often tied to real estate or business investment. It appeals because it's dynamic, aspirational. Dubai, for example. The UAE's growing international importance boosts the appeal.
It's fascinating how these programs blend practical stuff with that basic human desire for something exclusive, maybe hard to get. Now, the digital age, that's really shaken up the idea of scarcity, hasn't it?
Oh, completely. Blockchain tech has, well, revolutionized digital exclusivity, made it verifiable. And that's opened the door to whole new types of assets.
Like NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
Exactly. NFTs got huge precisely because they offer limited edition digital ownership, verifiable on a blockchain.
Yeah.
That creates scarcity where things used to be infinitely copyable. The value is in owning the unique original, or one of a limited run, of digital art, music, whatever. Basically, an NFT proves you own a unique digital thing recorded securely.
So verifiable ownership of something digitally rare.
You got it. And this idea is also used for tokenized real estate. Blockchain lets you own fractions of expensive properties. Makes it more accessible maybe, but still leverages the scarcity of the actual building or land. Each token is a verified share. Adds transparency, potential liquidity, dividing up ownership.
That's a really clever mix of physical and digital. What about digital collectibles generally?
Yeah, rare items in video games. Unique digital art. Their value often comes from super limited supply and the communities around them. The digital world is just as good at creating desire through scarcity as the physical one.
This has been really eye-opening, looking at how desire and scarcity work together. Now, for you listening, if you want to navigate this better, what are the key strategic takeaways? How can you, as Dr. Ghamari puts it, capture the fruits of the unattainable?
Okay, the key thing is approaching it with a smart, discerning eye. Understand these forces, but don't be, ruled by them. One absolutely crucial insight: learn to spot true versus artificial scarcity. Genuine scarcity based on finite resources, history, legal limits that usually offers a more solid base for long-term value. Manufactured scarcity purely for marketing. Be more cautious. Due diligence is essential.
So look past the hype, understand the real limits.
Exactly. Another vital point: look for assets with strong narrative power, a compelling story. Maybe it's a historic villa, a watch with amazing provenance, an NFT linked to a cultural moment. Stories create emotional connection, enhance that feeling of exclusivity and value.
It's more than just the thing itself. It's the story, the meaning attached.
Precisely. And while exclusivity drives desire, think about balancing it with some accessibility. Totally shutting the door can limit your market, your liquidity. Maybe offer tiers. Give a taste of exclusivity, but keep broader demand alive, like luxury brands with couture and ready-to-wear.
Smart. Reach more people, but keep the high-end mystique.
Yeah. And maybe the most critical advice: look beyond FOMO, the fear of missing out. Keep discipline. Focus on fundamentals, real value, long-term potential. Don't get swept up in hype. Emotional detachment, rigorous analysis, they're key.
Easier said than done sometimes, I imagine. But critical advice, definitely.
It is. And finally, if you're a creator, a developer, think about how you can ethically build your own exclusivity. Not by tricking people, but by creating real value. Limited supply, premium tiers, strategic partnerships. Focus on amazing quality, unique offerings.
Basically, build your own desirable tree of desire by making something genuinely special and scarce. Okay, we've covered a lot. Let's try and nail down some key points with a few quick FAQs. Might help you solidify this. So fundamentally, what makes an asset truly exclusive?
True exclusivity. It's about real limits on access, a strong story or unique history, and high barriers, maybe financial, maybe qualification-based. It's more than just rare. It's desired for reasons hard to copy.
And flip side, what are signs of artificial scarcity? Things to watch out for.
Well, be wary if supply can be easily ramped up, if limited edition feels more like a sales tactic, or if price jumps seem purely speculative, no real value backing them. Genuine scarcity usually has roots in nature, law, or deep history.
We mentioned some citizenship programs. Could you quickly recap maybe one or two and why they're so desirable?
Sure. Switzerland is still top tier. Stability, political, economic, good tax setup for some, global mobility, that reputation. The UAE is very hot right now. Fast growth, tax-free, dynamic lifestyle, becoming a major global hub. Very aspirational.
And the story, the narrative behind an asset, how much does that really affect its value?
Oh, hugely. Narrative adds emotional weight, historical context. It goes beyond the physical thing. A great story creates prestige, meaning fosters stronger desire, often justifies a higher price.
How can investors, keep a level head, avoid getting sucked into FOMO in these hyped markets?
Stick to a plan, a well-researched strategy. Do your homework, thorough due diligence. Diversify, prioritize fundamental value over hype. And yeah, maintain emotional discipline. Talking to trusted advisors helps too.
And is it really possible creating scarcity with digital assets?
Absolutely. Blockchain, NFTs, they provide clear ways to create verifiable, unique digital ownership. That establishes scarcity online, no question.
Last one, luxury goods. Why do they stay in such high demand, even with those price tags?
Because they're way more than just functional items, aren't they? They signal quality, craftsmanship, status, exclusivity. There's an emotional reward. They're often visible symbols of success, aspiration.
This has been incredibly insightful. So wrapping up this deep dive on the Tree of Desire, it really highlights this powerful dance between our own psychology and, well, economic forces.
Precisely. And understanding these dynamics, it's not just theory. It gives you a valuable lens to see opportunities, to navigate the market, recognizing scarcity, exclusivity, mystery. But keeping that critical, informed eye, that's essential.
So approach it with curiosity, but also a healthy dose of skepticism.
Exactly. It's about moving past just chasing the latest trend, the latest bubble, towards a more sustainable, informed way of understanding value and maybe even creating it.
That's a really strong, actionable takeaway. Okay, maybe a final thought for you to chew on. Nelson Mandela said, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." As you think about desire, the pursuit of the unattainable, remember that learning, resilience, they're key in any market, any endeavor you undertake.
A very fitting thought. Yeah, I would encourage you to reflect. How might these ideas, scarcity, exclusivity, mystery, be playing out in your own world, in your interests, in the decisions you might make next?